So, your child has a learning disability. What do you do? Well, you reach out to the school. You talk to the special ed teachers and you get them tested. And once they're tested and it's identified that they do have a learning disability, well, they're provided an IEP and then services and supports. And you notice something, a good change. Their grades start to go up and the student feels more empowered when they're in school. But then after a few months, you notice that their grades start to go down and they're not as happy about going to school. You're a little concerned, so you reach out to the special ed teachers, and the special ed teachers tell you that the student isn't utilizing their services and supports. They're not using their accommodations. And you're wondering why. Why would my child not want to do this? Well, it's simple. One word, stigma. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Today's lesson, Stigma of Special Education. Now, why would a student have a stigma towards special ed? I mean, special ed is there to help them be more successful, get them the services and supports that they need in order to do as well as their non-disabled peers. So, what's wrong about that? Well, it's because when students hear special education, this is what they think it means, that you are dumb, that you are different, and that you don't belong with everyone else. And although in today's society, we know that that's not true, we always tell our students and our children that even if they are in special ed, you're not dumb and you're not different. You're unique. And yes, you belong with everyone else. But history would say otherwise. In the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, the special kids were sent to special schools or to the basement in regular schools. This is where the stigma began for many people. It came out of fear of the unknown, and fear of not understanding the real needs of the children in these classrooms. Unfortunately, these fears and feelings continue. And I know exactly what these fears feel like because I've been there myself. When I was in elementary school and I was in special ed, I had to go to a separate classroom. And that's because I didn't have the school skills necessary to be in the regular general ed class. But that doesn't mean that I was in there permanently, because eventually I developed those skills well enough that I was able to go back out into the general ed and learn with everyone else. But the stigma of being pulled out of class and put into a separate classroom, it stuck with me. It made me feel inferior to other people. And it's a stigma that still follows me today. Because whenever I do something wrong or I mess up, I think to myself, well, that's because you're dumb, because you're not like everyone else. You're not as smart. But that's not the truth. Because here I am today with a master's degree. And I wouldn't have gotten that far if I didn't get the help that I needed. And so the stigma of special ed is still real. And parents are probably thinking, well, what can I do? How can I help my child get over this? Well, there are some strategies that you can use. So, what can parents do to ease a child's fear? Well, educate yourself. Learn as much as you can about your child's disability and how it affects them. By doing this, you're going to be more invested to help your child, and it's going to show your child that you actually care. Talk openly with your child about their diagnosis and specific challenges. By doing this, it alleviates some of those misconceptions and that fear, and it helps the student understand what their disability is and what those challenges are and why they need help and support. Help your child feel empowered. They may feel dumb or inadequate or inferior to their other students, but if you remind them that you are unique and that you have your own strengths that your other students and peers don't have, they're going to feel more empowered and they're going to be more likely to use the services and supports that are going to make them successful. And explain your child's strengths and needs to their teachers because each child is unique and sometimes their strengths can be used as a tool to help them be successful. And they can use those in their services and supports. And then encourage self-advocacy skills. This can be difficult, but if you share your experiences with your child about how it was difficult for you and you asked for help, then they're going to see that, hey, if my parents do that and they still do it today in their real job, then maybe I should use it. So letting them know that it's okay to ask for help is a good thing. And then think ahead. What are some barriers that might come up? One of the biggest barriers that parents may worry about is bullying. So reach out to the school and talk to the school about what their bullying policy is. And then try to be proactive when it comes to these fears that you might have. And then educate others. Because one of the things that a lot of people still have difficulty with is understanding what special ed is. Whenever they hear things like Tourette's, they immediately think, oh, they're going to be cursing and yelling out and things like that. But that's only one form of Tourette's. Some Tourette's syndromes are different than that, and they may not yell out or curse or anything like that. It may be small tics that they have. So educating others is going to make them more responsive in a positive way. And then join the disability community. For a lot of these kids in special ed, they may feel like they're alone, that they're different. But if you find a disability community where there are other children that they can connect with, they'll see that they're not so different after all, and that they have friends and family that they can rely on. Special education is a part of our lives. And even if you don't have a child with a special needs, you may know somebody who does. So if they are struggling or if their child is afraid of utilizing those services, please share this video with them or share some of the strategies that I mentioned with you because this can really help them. Because once we get over that stigma of special ed, that's where the healing and the learning process can really begin. So hopefully this video has been able to help you. And if you're interested in learning more, feel free to check out the link in this video description to learn more about some strategies that might be able to help you get over that stigma of special ed. Now, if you liked what you saw, you learned something new, or you're new to the channel, please click that like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And as always, if there's a topic in special ed that you would like me to cover, by all means, drop a line in the comments section with that topic and I'd be happy to cover it. And until next time, class dismissed.